Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God, thank him. It is Friday, guys, and I'm excited because I have an awesome show for you guys tonight, and it's the weekend. It's a weekend. A lot of interesting things happen in the market today, and I definitely want to talk about it because yesterday going crazy actually worked out in my favor. So when we get to that on the charts, I will talk to you about it. But let's go ahead and dive into what we got going on. So tonight we are taking a look at ticker DOCU. You might know them better as DocuSign. DocuSign Incorporated was founded in 2003 by Tom Gosner, Court Lorenzgi, and Eric Ranft. Okay. It's spelled R-A-N-F-T. I beats me. I tried. Okay. With the first office opening in Seattle, Washington. Now they're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $9 billion. Yes, that's $1 billion. DocuSign is in the software industry and the information technology sector, and they are not listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of DocuSign's peers are Adobe Incorporated, ticker ADBE, Zoom Communications Incorporated, ticker ZM, and Workday Incorporated, ticker WDAY. We're going to review DocuSign's earnings, their website, and visit the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check. Let me get some water. Let's do that again. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings, guys. Let's get to it. Ooh, we gonna roll tonight. DocuSign Incorporated, ticker symbol DOCU, the $9.2 billion company, reported its first quarter fiscal 2027 earnings on Thursday, June 4th. They have a 52-week high of $94.67, which took place on June 5th last year, and a 52-week low of $40.16 that occurred on February 25th. Which is a trading range of $54.51. And they closed today at $47.26. DocuSign Incorporated earnings report missed on the top line, reporting revenue of $830.2 million, which was lower than the market expectations of $841.2 million. But they beat on the bottom line as strong demand for its AI native intelligent agreement management platform protected margins. EPS was higher than the analysts and market expectations of 87 cents when they reported an adjusted EPS of $1.09. DocuSign Incorporated reported a GAAP net income of $78.2 million, which is higher than the $72.1 million net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 8.46%. So for the first fiscal quarter of 2026, their net profit was approximately 7.8% lower than it is compared to now a year later. Woo. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 5 p.m. Eastern time conference call. As far as guidance, management expects full year fiscal 2027 revenue to reach $3.5 billion. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $47.26 represents an increase of 17.68% over a span of approximately 3 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in February at that 52-week low of $40.16, they would be seeing a gain of $176.80. Guys, we did that. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? We look for those answers in 4 main areas: the homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go visit DocuSign's website. Let's go. Make sure I got that blown up. Bam. And bam, get the right disclaimer up there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing. I definitely would appreciate it. So we are on their homepage. I'm going to browse over this right quick and see where we're going to go. I don't see anything at the top that stands out to me. So let's go ahead and scroll over this website. Everything you need to agree. Send, sign, and manage all your agreements for free. I think these are some of the companies that use their services. Momentum 2026 keynote: how industry leaders are redefining how business gets done with DocuSign. AI-powered agreement management: analyze agreements with AI, sign documents electronically, and automate workflows with the intelligent agreement management platform. All right. Browsing. Build and scale with developer tools and APIs, bring people agreements and information together. Keep scrolling. Do much more with IAM. We just read about that. Build custom agreement workflows. Explore integrations. Okay, trust it. The world over. We take your agreement seriously as you do, which is why DocuSign meets the most stringent global security standards. Okay. This is a long homepage scroll, guys. Companies do better with DocuSign. 1.7 million businesses, one solution. Learn how our customers save time and money. Optimize business processes and better serve their users. Browse customer stories. Okay, keep scrolling. Recommended for you. DocuSign IAM, we talked about that. Okay, we're at the bottom. Let me take me off the screen so we can point out where we're going to go. Pricing, support, industries, financial services, products, company. Okay, we got it right here. So since it's on the right side of the screen, I'm going to put myself back up on here. So we're going to go to About Us. We're going to go to Careers and Investor Relations. Bam, that was easy. So let's go ahead and go to About Us. Let me make sure we're zoomed in. Yeah, we're good. Excuse me. About DocuSign, our story. DocuSign redefined how the world agrees with e-signature. Now we're pioneering a new category: intelligent agreement management. This IAM. They are really big about promoting that. DocuSign IAM brings agreements to life, allowing organizations of all sizes to put their agreement data to work for them. Dedicated to the future of agreement technology. Over 1.5 million paying customers and over 1 billion users worldwide. Over 180 plus countries use DocuSign to power their agreements. Wow, those are some stats for real. And over 400 plus pre-built integrations. Protecting our people and planet. Driven by global impact, proven by our results. Careers, make your mark. Leadership, news center. Okay, are we approaching this? Another long scroll. All right, so we went over the About Us. Let's go to Careers and see what we can find for the benefits. How well do they take care of their customers, their employees? Why did I say customers? How well do they take care of their employees? What's the benefits like? Zoom in. There we go. 150. Hey, they made it easy. Bam, benefits right there at the top. So we're going to scroll over this page and then we're going to click benefits. Make your mark. 313 open roles in 18 locations. I don't think I've ever seen it break it down as simple as that right by the search. I really like that. Sign on to a meaningful career. Look at the wordplay. Here's a video. Remember, links to this website featured in tonight's show are down in the description for your convenience. Make your mark at DocuSign. Browse all jobs. Be part of something bigger. By the number. So here are some stats again. They have over 7,000 employees, over 35 paid days off, over 1 billion DocuSign users. I think they said 1.5 billion when we read it earlier. Focused on mission, global presence. So these are the different locations where they have jobs. That's nice. Look, let me take me off the screen so you can see it. So they tell you by location how many jobs they have available. So 82 in San Francisco, 69 in Seattle, 89 in India. That's dope. Okay. All right. Put me back on the screen. The flexibility you want. You belong here. Boy, they got some scrolls for you. Hey, you can have a field day on this website if you want to check this out. I'm ready to go to the benefits. Let me let you peek and see what the bottom look like. So the last thing is our principles. So I don't think we read that on About Us. So let's read a little bit of this. Our principles help us to define expectations of ourselves and others. Customer first, deliver results, say what matters, own it, make it better, and one team. A life at DocuSign. Ready to add your signature. All right, we're at the bottom. So let's go to benefits and see what they bring up. All you need to thrive. We power the people who power the world's agreements. Our benefits include the support and coverage you need to live well so you can reach your greatest potential. Okay, all right. Best in class for a world-changing team. All right, so they go over it. It doesn't look like they go into deep detail, but they talk about the paid time off, full health benefits, retirement plans, learning and development, compassionate care leave, anywhere tech allowance. All right, benefits for your whole family. So it looks like they do a good job of explaining some of it. Doesn't look like they go into deep detail, but they do explain it. So we've seen that. And they talk about culture. Let's see if they mention anything different here. A team where you can be yourself and deliver global impact. Does this look familiar? I'm not sure. But we see that there's other stuff you can browse through, okay? So let's go ahead and go to investor relations. Here we go. About to get ready to wrap this up. Make sure I'm zoomed in. Here we go, investor relations. So here they go. They trade on the NASDAQ, the ticker, closing stock price for today, percentage change. And there's the date of the last quote that was put on the website, which is today, so it's up to date. Highlights, scrolling over this page, we are at the bottom. So we want to go right here to stock info, stock quote. So here is the stock quote, here's the stock chart, and here are some other tools that they have available on their website. Bam, we're good. Now, let's talk about what I found in my research. So let's go here. We still have them on the screen. Yes, we do. So this is what I have. DocuSign Incorporated does have customers and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include Apple Incorporated, ticker AAPL, Salesforce Incorporated, ticker CRM, and Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT. Now let's talk about this. Before we look at the charts, remember professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders can lose critical details and advanced platform features using apps on phones instead of software on computers or websites. So keep in mind, trading from a smartphone is usually the least effective way for managing assets. To access the most details, it's best to use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or TV and only use a phone as a last resort. Now, let's look at DocuSign Incorporated on the charts. Bam. And let's put the right disclaimer up here. So I have a 1 year daily chart pulled up on the screen. Make sure my other mouse is working well. I'm not sure if this is over all the way, so let me check something. I'm going into settings. Time axis, it is set correctly. All right. So here's the 52-week high of $94.64. Here's the 52-week low of $40.16. And here is the earnings. So the earnings were announced yesterday, and they were announced after the market closed. So since they were announced after the market closed, today's price action is in response to those earnings. Okay. So we're going to break that down in a minute. And it looks like, let's go back. So let's go to the 10-year weekly chart. So this is what we got here. Let me count this. 26, 25, 24, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I wanted to count that because I'm like, I don't think I heard DocuSign being out that long, or at least publicly traded that long. So it's only going back about 9 years, even though this is a 10-year weekly chart. So what I'm seeing in 2018, let me take me off the screen so you can see it. So here's their 9. This is about nine years. 9-year weekly chart. So their 9-week low, 9-year weekly low, that's a better way to put it, is $35.06. And their 9-year high is $314.76. Now, when we look at these price levels, it looks like it was trending sideways for a while, like 2022 through to like, I want to say the end, like the like 3 quarters. Yeah, that's a way to put it. Like 3 quarters. So that's September into 2024. So it was able to get up here to the 200-week simple moving average, and then it's been trending down. Okay, let me do some drawing up here and put me back on the screen because I'm not blocking this stuff. All right. So I'm seeing it was trending sideways for about 2 years, guys. And then it broke out to the upside and tested the 200-week simple moving average. And it's been riding that 200-week simple moving average. Then once it closed below it here, it resumed the downtrend, and it looks like it's been consolidating for the first half of 2026, starting in February, like the end of February. That's what I'm seeing when we look at the 10-year weekly chart. But it's 9 years because of what I talked about earlier. Okay, so let me look for some price levels. I'm not seeing zones right off the back. I'm seeing price levels. So $63.60. Okay, now why I picked that, and we can put a zone here. It goes back a while. So let me take me off the screen so you can see this. I am going to make this a zone. I don't even remember what, I think I clicked on that right there. So if I take this and then go over here to this candle's high, I know that's really small if you're looking at this on the phone, but just bear with me. So I'm gonna take this and I'm going to extend that rectangle drawing tool. That's the price level. We want the rectangle drawing tool. So edit properties, rectangle, put me back on the screen. I'm going to extend this over to 2026, December 1st. Okay. So that's the first part. Bam. So we can see that support resistance zone has been respected all the way since 2018. So let me take me off the screen so you can see that again. All right. So it held as resistance here. Then it had a hard time getting through it. But once it got through it, it came back and tested that area as support. And then it went nuts in 2020. Now, remember, in 2020, that was the year of the pandemic, right? So if people weren't doing business in person, that makes sense. DocuSign, Zoom, companies like that blew up when we were on quarantine. So that's what we're seeing. I believe why the company blew up like that was because their business increased dramatically when people were working from home and we were on quarantine. So it pulled back a little bit. So we can put a price level here. The price is so far down, guys. I don't want to spend a lot of time going all the way up in those price levels trying to find support and resistance. But I am seeing this area right here as a zone. Okay. So this, I want to say the top of this candle. And if we take this back, we don't even have to go. Let's say this high right here on this week. That zone. Now we're going to take that back. So that was 2018. 2018. And that looks like September 1st. So we'll do that. Then we go up here. Then we go to December 2026 on the 1st. And there's that zone. What day was that? So that week was 6/18. 6/18/2018. 6/18. So if I go back, boom, 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 June. What was it? 18, I think. Yeah, there we go. So they're lined up. I'm a Libra, so I wanted that to be balanced. All right. So we take those arrows off. Now that's what I'm seeing as a long-term support and resistance. This was consolidation. So we're going to zoom in, and then I'm going to put a price level of resistance right there. All right. So now let's go back to the 1-year daily chart and check this out. So now we have our technicals already, and we can look at what's been going on the 1-year daily chart. Okay. And I'm seeing that price level as resistance. Now I'm going to break all of what I'm seeing down so we can go ahead and do the stock quote. So I'm seeing that after the 52-week low right here, after this downtrend, pretty much bottomed out here in, let's get these dates, February, like the end of February, it found support. I'm going to use the first candle's wick right here. Let me zoom in and take that arrow off. I'm going to zoom in because we're focusing on this area right now. Take the arrow off. Yeah, you can see it. I'll put it back again. So that candle I'm pointing at, this red one right here, I'm using that low. That way we have two wicks that tested that same price level of $40.42, even though the 52-week low was $40.16. Now, after that, I'm seeing consolidation. I have no idea why this program keep popping up. Give me 1 second, guys. Something's going on with my computer program. Something is open. Hopefully it won't do it again. I got to figure out what that is. So for consolidation, it keeps opening. Oh, guys, hold on 1 second, guys. I'm having problems. We was having a good show, and then all of a sudden this started tripping. Let me do something. Give me a second. Control-Alt-Delete. Please don't let this crash the live stream. This doesn't need to be over there. It's something I need to cut off. So what is it called? Snag. There it is. All right, so let's end task, and hopefully this will fix the problem. All right. Hopefully that fixed it. I'm seeing this area here as consolidation. You can even go back further because this price action is in that zone as well. Uh-oh, there you go. Now that's acting up. Oh my gosh. Now we was doing good. Now all of a sudden everything started tripping. Let me go to the arrow and see if that resets it. Go back there. All right. So I'm seeing the price action. There we go. Here as consolidation. So it was basically trending sideways for about 4 months. Then it broke out to the upside, and then it found problems right here at that $57.29. Now, where did I get that price level from? These daily candles right here. We can see that once this candle right here, this red one, closed below that price level of 57.29, it held as resistance for 2 days. These two candles right here. Then this green candle closed above it. Then this red candle tested it as support. This green candle tested it as support. The third day opened above it, and then it closed below that price level. So it was responding to that price level here as support and resistance. So that was significant based off what I'm seeing, because now when it came back to test that price level again, the wick hit it, but it wasn't able to get above it. And then it's sold off since then to the point where it's closed below the 9-day simple moving average. So that's what I'm seeing with the technicals. I'm about to remove all of that. Bam, we have our price levels. And now I want to zoom in on this part right here and see if there was a gap between these two. So this is a high of $50.78, and this low was nope, there's no gap there. Wait a minute, I think it is. Did I say that right? So the low was 50.81, then the high was 50.78. Yes, it's a small gap. It's really hard to see. So let me blow this up so you can see what I'm saying. It's like a 3 cents gap, guys. It's really hard to see. You can see it now that I done zoomed all the way in. Give me a second. It's only 3 cents. So this is a small gap that happened. See how this high and that low? I know that's very tiny. So we make those yellow on this channel, the gaps. And then we're going to extend this over to December 1st. Because we had no trading activity in a daily trading session at those price levels, even though it's a few cents. So I'm being very technical. So that's a gap, even though it's not huge. So we're going to zoom in, and now we're going to get the stock quote for DocuSign. So go up here to the settings, cut on my floating data box, and let's talk about it. So DocuSign opened today at $49.18. They had a high of $50.78. They had a low of $46.73, and they closed today at $47.26, which was a trading range of $4.05. Now, when we look at the trading volume, they traded 8.7 million shares of this stock today. Now, to me, that seems kind of low. Being as so, they were responding to earnings. So let's take the floating data box off and look at my volume labels to see what the average trading volume is in a daily trading session for DocuSign. So we can see right here, the average trading volume in a daily trading session is 3.6 million shares traded. And today they did 8.7, so it's definitely above average. Also, the earnings were announced yesterday after the market closed, so they're responding to the earnings, so we should see an increase in volume. That's normal. And then on the day of trading, before the earnings were announced yesterday, which was Thursday, they traded 7.1 million shares in that daily trading session. So both of those days were above average. Now, put me back on the screen. Let's talk about the volume rank percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 9 of those days had higher volume than today, DA days above. Now, when we go to volume rank percentile percentage, out of the most recent 252 trading days volume, today's volume was higher than 96.4% of those daily trading sessions. Got it? Hope you do, because we moving on. All right, let's talk about this right here. Back to the community, I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as on the ticker on the screen. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. All right. And I am excited to talk about the SPY today. I almost beat on my desk. Let me get some water. We're about to get into it. All right, let's go back to the charts. Here we go. We are about to pull up the SPY so we can change that. There we go. Now, go up here to the symbol box, SPY. Guys, I got a heck of a show for you on this weekend when we do this Q&A, because we're going to go into a deeper dive about this. Because now everything I have been talking about, because we've been doing these live streams consistently, this is documented what I had said, what we was talking about, what we were discussing prior to what happened today. So if you can see, there's a huge red candle on this chart when it deals with today's trading session. I'm gonna keep zooming in a little at a time. This red candle right here. Now, you can't see the technicals. I'm gonna pull those up on the screen in a second. You can see the gaps and you can see the support and resistance zones. I'm going to expand this a little bit so we can focus on this recent price actions. price action. So you can't see the technicals. I'm about to put those on the chart because I wanted to wait until this live stream to see this. So I'm very excited to see if this price action responded to any of the technicals we put on this chart. So here we go. It's in the middle of no man's land. So it didn't actually stop at a price level we had on the chart, but looking at it, I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna break this down because that actually was a nice level right there. That wasn't on the chart, but I do want to talk about this other stuff that I'm seeing. So today, not only did it open below this 9-day simple moving average, yesterday it had closed above that 9-day simple moving average. Okay. So it looked like it was going to stay above the 9 because it didn't close below it on Thursday. Today, it opened below the 9 and it never got above it. And it just had a sell-off today, guys, on this SPY ETF. Selling pressure kicked in like crazy. Now, I don't have a price level right here, but I want to show you something. If we put a price level right here where that wick stopped at, let me take me off the screen so you can see this. I'm going to point out to you where I'm seeing it respond to it. So right here, we can see that the wick of this candle, so right here, almost came perfectly to where this wick came to. This open on the green candle is almost exactly at that price level, $735.56. Also, we seeing the wick hold as support on this candle. We saw this wick hold as resistance, this wick hold as support. This candle close above it. This candle hold as resistance at that price level. So it's a lot of candles that responded to that price level of $735.53 right here. It's a lot of candles that responded to it. So even though it looked like before I put that line there that price level was in the middle of nowhere, after looking at the most recent price action, now it makes sense to me when I see that. Okay, so that's what we got there. Now, I'm excited, guys. You just don't understand. Let's move on and let's get the quote for this ETF. And then we're going to talk about the volume. We're going to talk about the volume. So go to settings, open up the floating data box, and let's get to it. So the SPY opened today at $752.31. They had a high of $752.82. They had a low of $735.53. And they closed today at $737.55, which is a trading range of $17.30. Now, guys, oh, guys, this is where the significance comes in at. The trading volume was 93.9 million shares of this ETF traded today. Okay. Now you can go back and watch my previous live streams about how I kept bringing this up, and you probably didn't understand what I was looking at, but I kept mentioning it. I was like, guys, the volume is extremely low at these price levels. It's extremely low. And that was a red flag to me. You can watch those live streams and see that I kept saying that. And now I'm about to explain to you why. All right. So I'm going to take me off the screen and let's go over here. The average trading volume for the SPY is 74.2 million shares in a daily trading session. Okay. So about 75 million is what they trade on average. That's the average volume. As you can see, the previous trading volume, so this is Thursday. So this green candle right here was below average. It was 49.9 million shares in that daily trading session. We don't have all of those right now, but I'm going to show you where to look. Right here, this box right here where it says volume, this number is going to be whatever candle I mouse over. When I start mousing over these candles, you're going to see this number change. So right now it's matching the volume for this candle. I want you to keep an eye on this number and see that it's below average. It's below this number as I mouse over it, okay? So here we go. This candle, 49.9 million. That's below average. This candle, 51.4. This candle, 31.5. So that's when it hit that 52-week high. This candle, 43.6. This candle, 55. This candle, 41. This candle, 42. This candle, 41. My point being, at these record highs, guys, it was trading below average volume. Why is that significant? Every time the price went in the down direction, the volume increased. Okay, so I've watched some of the other content on YouTube and social media, of course, and I noticed that when people would be sharing their views and opinions about technical analysis, they wouldn't talk about the volume. They would just be talking about price levels that they see on the chart. Guys, when the price went down, we saw the volume kick in. It jumped above average. So what that means, why this is important, or why volume matters, you didn't have at least the average amount of volume or people agreeing that these price levels were something that was interesting. They didn't agree on the price. Like if people agreed on the price, the volume would be at least average. So at these record highs, there was less people saying, yeah, I want to buy it here, or yeah, I want to sell it here. It was less trading activity up here. Then as soon as it broke to the downside, you see people rush in to sell and to buy. Now, let me explain that. Some people think that you have more sellers if the stock price was to go down, or in this case, an ETF. Well, since the price went down, this means you have more people selling. That sounds right, but it's extremely wrong, because if you sold it, that means somebody bought it. So you could never have more sellers than buyers. If something was sold, that means somebody bought it. There's never more sellers than buyers when it comes to volume. You just have more people willing to sell on the bid. You have more people willing to sell on the bid or buy on the ask. I did say that right. So the asking price is what the seller wants. That's usually higher. So you would be buying it, or someone would be buying it at a premium. If somebody sold it at a discount, they will be selling on the bid. So that's what the buyer is offering. The buyer is usually going to offer less than what the seller is asking for. So when you see the price go down, that means that more of the trades were being sold on the bid. So whatever somebody was willing to pay for it, they was like, here, take it. And that's what drove the selling pressure. So it had an increase in selling pressure, which caused the price to come tumbling down. That's how the mechanics of that work. So people agreed that this should not be trading at these levels, because if they agreed it should be selling for more, they would have been paying a premium for it. They wouldn't have been selling it at a discount. Okay. Now this weekend, I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper, and we can cover it a little bit when we go into the winners and losers for today. So let's finish talking about the volume, because I got distracted going into the bid and ask mechanics. So when we get over here to the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, only 46 of those days had higher volume than today. And then out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 81.7% of those daily trading sessions as far as dealing with this SPY ETF. Okay, bam. So we can move on. Let's go here. Now, let's talk about, wait. Let's look at, let's look at the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the day. And first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. Okay, so let's go over here to the charts, and we want to take the SPY off the chart in a second because we don't need that. Let's go over here to Market Watch. And let's get the biggest loser up here, guys. So the biggest loser is ticker MU, Micron Technology Incorporated. Okay, they lost 13.25% today. Their previous close was $996, and they closed today at $864.01. Okay, now let's do a hypothetical. Let's say if somebody invested, we've been using some small numbers, man. Let's say somebody invested $4,500. They invested $4,500 and they lost 13.25%. We multiply this, 13.25, hit the percentage, negate it, equal. They will have lost $596.25 of their $4,500 investment. We add the $4,500 back to it, which is the investment principal, and they would be left with $3,903.75. Bada boom, bada bing. All right. We already have Micron Technology selected, so we're going to go over to the Analyze tab. And here we go, ticker MU, and they are in the information technology sector. Now, guys, here's a little treat. You know what we do after we look at what sector the company is. So let's go over to the Visualize tab. Let's go to the heat map. So we go over to the Market Watch tab and go to the Visualize sub tab. Guys, this is the heat map for the S&P 500. We're going to look at the information technology sector. So we go down, break that open. Here we go. Information technology. Bam. Guys, that's crazy. This whole sector took a hit today. Look at how red this sector is. Nuts. Let me take me off the screen. Nuts. Okay. So there's an actual ETF that tracks this index. So we can see this in the form of candles on the chart. So let me show that to you. So we go back to the charts, and I believe the ticker for this is XLK. Yep. So here's the State Street ETF for information technology. So now that you can see it in candle form on the chart, put me back on the screen. Now we can see here's a huge red candle. When it got below that 9-day simple moving average, sold off. Doesn't this kind of look similar to the SPY? You see that? That's not by coincidence. So let me break this down to you. Those lines might be driving you crazy. So let's do that. It's not by coincidence. Same situation, right? So below that 9-day simple moving average, we see the same sell-off. Go back to XLK. XLK. Got below the 9, you see the sell-off. Now, let's go back to the Visualize tab. Visualize tab, bam. Now we're going to go into that actual industry. It was Micron, right? So I believe that's right here, semiconductors and semiconductor equipment. Let me expand this over so you can see it. That one. There's MU. So if we go a little bit deeper, they are in the semiconductors. Yeah. Semiconductors, that is the sub industry. Semiconductor sub industry. The industry is semiconductors and semiconductor equipment. And that sector is the information technology sector. Bam, we got it. Now, here's what I wanted you to see. When we go back to the quotes tab, look at the sectors that all of the top losers are in. Micron, information technology. Teradyne, information technology. First Solar, information technology. SanDisk, information technology. Intel, information technology. SMCI, information technology. It goes down. How many is this? You see, the first different sector you see is materials. You can't see it because I'm on the screen. The first one is materials that's different in this list. But then after that, you have 3 more information technology. Then you got consumer discretionary. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost all of the losers. Look how long this information technology list is. That sector brought the whole S&P 500 index down. It's just one sector that's weighing it down, guys. That is crazy. So let's put Micron back up here. Now let's talk about this. Here's their website. The links are down in the description for your convenience. Micron Technology Incorporated. Micron Technology Incorporated designs, develops, manufactures, and sells memory and storage products in the United States, Taiwan, Japan, mainland China, Hong Kong, Europe, and internationally. Got it. Now let's go to their website. Bam. Put me back on the screen. Change the disclaimer. Yeah. All right, we were good. Now, let's browse over this website. Guys, I'm loving this already. They made it easy, didn't they? Investors, bam. Careers, bam. About, bam. I'm loving Micron the way they did this website. They made it real easy. All right, so we're going to browse over this homepage, and then we're going to click on those different tabs and read that. Micron is the invisible layer powering AI. See the unseen. Excuse me. Virginia expansion advances memory made in the USA. Innovation makes new solutions possible. So data center, client PC, automotive. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. What is going on? Excuse me. Mobile. Memory and storage for industrials, IoT solutions, feature blogs, design tools. Your future starts here. So that's careers, that's US expansion, building memory manufacturing in the US. So is that Idaho, Virginia, and New York? Okay. Yep, Idaho. Got it. Design tools. So we're down here at the bottom. So they're talking about the product. Stop it. So about overview, company. Let's go to about up here. Oh yeah, company. Let's just go to company. We don't want to slow this down. About our company, we are a world leader in innovative memory solutions that transform how the world uses information to enrich life for all. For over 45 years, our company has been instrumental to the world's most significant technology advancements, delivering optimal memory and storage systems for a broad range of applications. Remember, links to these websites are down in the description for your convenience. So I'm gonna speed this up a little bit because we got like 15 minutes left and we got a whole nother company that we need to cover. So we went through that. Let's go to careers. Bam. Find out about their benefits. We're looking for the benefits. So we see home, about. Is this going to be the same thing? See awards and recognitions, our company. Okay, yeah, it looks familiar to me. Go back to careers. Your talent powers our future. Got it. Quick links, featured opportunities, search jobs, locations. At Micron, everyone innovates. And here's a video. You can watch that on your own time. Here's awards and recognitions. So 11 great place to work certifications in 2025. Forbes America's Best Employers for Tech Workers 2025. Vets Index is recognized employer 2025. So that was last year. Got it, students. Micron helpful links. Innovation, our innovation business candidates. Learn about Micron careers in areas like finance, procurement, supply chain, and human resources. Technician candidates, so those are different roles. Equal employment opportunity pop. I didn't see the benefits, guys. I'm browsing over it one more time, but I did not see the benefits. I hope that's not getting in the mic. It's raining and it's making this clicking sound on my air conditioner. All right. So yeah, maybe if we go here, search jobs, they pop this up in a different website and I'm not seeing it over there either. So I'm not even going to bring that over, guys. Let's just go ahead and move on. Blow that up. Bam. All right. So we're going to go to investors. Did they zoom us out? I don't know. Let's see. No, we're good. So investor relations, latest news. We're going to browse over this page. And then we're going to look for the stock quote and the charts that they have available on their website. Got it. So we're down at the bottom. Go back to the top menu. Investor relations. Here we go. Latest news, risk for a quarter. Oh, here's the stock information right here. That is sad. You see how little that is? And it's not a hyperlink. So I can't click it. It doesn't take us anywhere else. So it doesn't look like they have a stock quote section outside of this. Can't even get it to get off the screen. What was that? Yeah. Guys, that's it. Let's move on. I'm not going to spend any more time on that. Looks like they don't have it. Let's go. Let's move on. Go here. Bam. Micron. All right. What did I find in my research? Micron Technology Incorporated, ticker MU. When it comes to their goods and services. They manage advanced semiconductor memory and storage systems across the computing, consumer, and enterprise markets, offering solutions such as high-performance memory chips like high-bandwidth memory and DDR5 modules that power artificial intelligence servers and cloud computing infrastructure. Fast flash storage products, including enterprise solid-state drives that manage data retention for mobile devices and data centers, and specialized graphics and automotive memory components tailored for real-time processing, automated driving systems, and edge computing arrays. Looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include NVIDIA Corporation, ticker NVDA, Hewlett Packard Enterprise Company, ticker HPE, and Dell Technologies and Dell Technologies Incorporated, ticker DELL. All right, now let's go to the charts. Bam, bam. Here we go. Charts. This almost looks like the same thing that happened with the whole sector, don't it? It closed right up under that 9-day simple moving average and sold off, guys. Okay, but we about to do our technicals. It looked like we looked at Micron before. So let's go to let me take me off the screen. Let's just go ahead and start there. So the 52-week low is $103.38. 52-week high is $1,089.29. Wow. And now it's 864. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's go to the 10-year weekly chart. 10-year low, $11.50. 10-year high, $1,089.29. Let's zoom in on what's going on here. So these technicals that I drew on a chart were based off of what was going on recently. So this is 2026. This is February, the end of January and February with these weeks right here. And then it looks like it was consolidating. It was trending sideways between those two price levels of $369.62 and $439.37. And then after it broke out the consolidation, oh my gosh. After it broke out of the consolidation, it broke out to the upside. There was a gap between this week and that week. And then this week had this historical high, and man, oh man, did it sell off. And it closed below this price level that I put there. And I have no idea. Oh, that's probably from some price levels that we're going to see on the daily chart. So we're going to go over there in a second. So this, let's just go ahead and put that price level there. This is going to be an area of resistance, that 52-week high. All right. Now let's go ahead and go to the 1-year daily chart. Now I can see why that price level is there. So let me zoom in. That 916.80, it was these candles I was looking at. So I used the high of this candle. So that was May 26th. May 26th. And the shadows on these two daily candles, May 27th and May 28th. That's where I got that price level from as an area of support that I was interested in, or that I was seeing, $916.80. So I believe there's a gap here. We'll be able to see if it was in 1 second. That's a very small gap, but that's a gap. So edit properties. Yeah, we can see it there. Yellow. Extend that over. December 1st. Bam. So that's a gap. Then I believe you have another gap. So we're using the rectangle tool. Bam, bam. Extend this over. December 1st again. Bam, bam, bam. December 1st. Make it yellow. There we go. Click OK. And there's our other gap. So we can see as it was coming down, it's gapping down. So right off that high, this was Wednesday. This is Thursday's daily candle. And here was today. And that information technology sector got slammed today. So we still have a gap down here that hasn't been filled yet. So if you want those price levels, let me put those on the chart. So that's going to be the low of this candle and the high of that candle. So those two price levels are $820.30 and $780.20. That's the top of the gap and that's the low of the gap. So as far as support, that gap fill support I'm seeing, and this support zone here of $652.21. Now, being as so, I think, my personal opinion, that this is overextended. Because when we zoom out and we look at the 10-year weekly, this is nuts, guys. This is nuts. Look how far above the 200-week simple moving averages price action is. And you don't have any historical price level data to see this ever traded at those levels before. So I would not be surprised if it comes all the way back down to the 200-day simple moving average. I wouldn't be surprised. But those are the levels that I'm seeing. So let's go ahead and get the stock quote, and then we can talk about the volume. So we have that. Let's go to settings, floating data box, and let's talk about it. So Micron opened today at $944.40. They had a high of $961.89. They had a low of $864.01. And then closed today at $864.01. Wait a minute, guys. That means they had a shaving bottom. The low and the close was the same price. That's some selling pressure for your tail, boy. It never came up off the low. That trading range was $97.88. Now, when we look at the trading volume for Micron, they traded 77. Oh my gosh. They traded 77.2 million shares today. Now, let me explain to you why I said, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So if I take the floating data box off and I take me off the screen and we look at my volume labels, guys, check this out. The average trading volume for Micron is 32.7 million shares in a daily trading session. It traded 77.2 million. That's above average. Now, when we talk about volume, we usually compare increased volume to earnings, guys, to earnings. Put me back on the screen. To earnings, we see increased volume as reactions to earnings most of the time. Okay, to earnings. Guys, there's no earnings going on right here. There's some type of catalyst. Something's going on where some money was convinced to exit this company at these price levels. It wasn't earnings that attracted it, because it's not around earnings. There's got to be something else. Okay. So let me take me off the screen. Let's go back over here and look at the rest of these volume levels. So yesterday's trading volume was above average as well, but it was 54.9 million shares traded when it was here, when it came down and tested the 9-day simple moving average, when it tested it, but it closed above it. But then today it opened below it right here with the body, the top body of this red candle, which was also below the 9-day simple moving average, guys. So let's talk about the volume rank percentile. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, none of those days had higher volume than today, not one. So of course, the volume rank percentile is going to be 100%. It was higher than all of those days in the most recent 252 trading days. And this ain't even in response to earnings. Wow. Oh, guys. Yeah. I had a feeling that these companies in the information technology sector were extremely overvalued. That's been my take for a minute. I actually mentioned it yesterday in the live stream. You can go back and check, because you know hindsight is 2020. So these are things we need to know and understand or forecast before they happen, not after. So I'm loving the fact that we're doing these live streams, because we can actually go check if I said something or what I saw or what was going on before it actually happens, because we've been looking at these charts every day. Okay. So we talked about this with Micron. So we can move on to the biggest winner. Let's look at the gainer. Okay. So let's go over here to the Market Watch tab and change this column. And the biggest winner for today, or gainer, the biggest gainer for today is ticker COO, the Cooper Companies Incorporation. I have never heard of this company before, so this is actually going to be a treat for me, because I get to learn something new tonight. But they are in the healthcare sector, guys. And if you've been watching the Q&As, I just started doing them, but you watch the Q&A that I just did this Sunday, I was talking about the sector rotation tool that I use. Healthcare, and I think, don't quote me, you can go look at the video, but I think financials was also down at the bottom on that sector rotation tool. And now, remember how we were looking? Oh, and I think consumer staples too. Remember how we were looking at the biggest losers, how they all were in the information technology sector? Now we're going to look at something else. All right, let's talk about this, and then we'll go to the visualize tab and break that down. So the previous close for Cooper companies was $62.02. They closed today at $67.34. Their percentage change is 8.58%. So let's do a hypothetical. If someone had invested, let's do $800. $800, and they got that 8.58% gain. We will multiply this 8.58% equal, they would have gained $68.64. Add that to the investment principal. So the total investment would have grown to $868.64. Got it. Now, we already know that they're in the they're in the healthcare sector, but I'm continue to do this the way we do it. So we go over to the analyze tab, we see the ticker, and then we see the healthcare sector. We usually read it here. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to the watch list tab, and in this column right here, we're going to read what some of these companies, what some of these sectors are for these companies. So I'm seeing consumer staples 3 times right after healthcare. Then you see financials, then you see healthcare, financials, consumer discretionary, consumer staples. These sectors were not, you hear me? Not on anybody's radar, as far as I know, like when I was looking at the sector rotation tool, because everybody was too busy looking at the information technology sector. And I thought that they were overvalued because that seems like where all the money was flowing. So while it was doing that, this is what I was talking about in the live stream yesterday. I felt like it was a lot of undervalued companies in other sectors because people were so focused on AI. Even energy, you notice none of these are energy. You see that? You see utilities, but you don't see energy as a leader in here. You know why? Because AI uses a lot of energy. So a lot of money was flowing towards the energy sector and the AI sector. And I feel like when that was happening, those sectors became extremely overvalued. So they presented opportunities in other sectors because people was moving their money out of those sectors into those 2 hot ones. And now I think the hype has caught up with it, because we're looking at the data. None of these gainers that say information technology. Look at how many companies this is. None of that says information technology or energy. None. Not one. I'm seeing healthcare. Oh, I'm blocking it. Let me take me off the screen so you can see what I mean. And we take off. I don't want no excuses. Let me take this off so you can see it. None of those companies in this list. None say energy. And none say information technology. It's almost every sector but those. I don't see materials. Yeah, I don't see materials up there either. But yeah, not a gainer, not information technology and energy. So let's go over to the visualize tab. And we're going to go over to the S&P 500 index heat map. So we're looking at that now. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I definitely would appreciate it. So now we're going to break this down. We're going to go into the healthcare. Look at this. I'm seeing way more green than red. Way more green than red. Now, that company was cool. The ticker was cool. Let me put them back on the screen. The Cooper Companies Incorporated. So what we looking for? COO. What industry are they in? Right here. You see them? So healthcare equipment and supplies. Boom. Did that blow it up? Right here. They over here in the corner. Cool. Right here. So I'm seeing health something. So if we break that, healthcare equipment and healthcare supplies. So they're in healthcare supplies. There they are, right there in the middle. So this is the sub industry that they're inside of, healthcare supplies. But they're in the healthcare equipment and supplies industry, and they're in the healthcare sector. That's how we broke that down. Bada boom, bada bing. Now we're going to go back over to the Analyze tab. Cooper Companies Incorporated. Here's their website. Links to the websites are down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit about this description, and then we can go over about this company, and then we can go over to the website. The Cooper Companies Incorporated, together with its subsidiaries, develops, manufactures, and markets contact lens wearers. What? The company operates in two segments, Cooper Vision and Cooper Surgical. Okay, let's go to their website. Bam. Wait a minute. That's not what we're supposed to see right now. Ooh, there it is. Look like something. Oh, I closed it. That's what's wrong. Let me put me back on the screen. That's what happened. I'm like, man, what happened? I know what it was. I closed it. So let me put something back before this drive me crazy. I'm glad I didn't do that. I would have messed something up. DocuSign. No, we got that over there. It was Micron. We ended up closing Micron all the way down. I need to put it somewhere. So they were the loser. So this will make sense to me. There we go. So that's the company we need to be looking at. Let me blow this back up. There we go. And we put the right disclaimer on here. We do have the right disclaimer. Let's put that back. There we go. All right. So we are on the Cooper Companies website. We're going to go to our company, investors and careers. Ooh, I love the way these two companies have made it so easy to find what we need. So let's scroll over this homepage, and then we're going to look at those those three locations. So helping people experience life's beautiful moments. Our company, Cooper Companies, is a global consumer-centric medical device company that supports how people want to live at every stage of life. By listening closely to the healthcare providers and patients, we fulfill the needs of today while focusing on the opportunities of tomorrow through innovation and strategic investment. 4.1 billion worldwide revenue. Wow, what a stat. Our stories, all stories, our impact. Careers, investors, we at the bottom. They didn't waste no time, did they? So let's go to our company, who we are, leadership, Cooper Vision, Cooper Surgical. Let's go to who we are. Okay, who we are. Our two business units elevate standards of care with best-in-class devices for vision, women's health, surgical procedures. That's what I found in my research. I didn't see a lot about vision. I saw a lot about women's care, which you'll see when we get to the research portion. Something's in my eye. Okay. Global operations, leadership, board of directors. Got it. All right, let's go to careers and let's see what we can find for the benefits. Ooh, she look excited. What's going on here? Working at Cooper. We are a purpose-driven, dynamic team that cares about health, wellness, and helping people experience life's beautiful moments. Cooper Vision, Cooper Companies, Cooper Surgical. I like the colors. I like the way they have these colors going on. Life's beautiful moments, our values, dedicated, innovative, friendly partners do the right thing. Over 15,000 employees worldwide, over 45 countries and employees based in. Over 32,000 employees are ERG members. Awards and recognition, life at Cooper. Benefits, we got it. Benefits, we reward great thinking and hard work with competitive pay, comprehensive benefits, career advancing opportunities, and wellness programs. A healthier you, coverage for you and your family. And you can click on these. So remember, the links for these websites are down in the description for your convenience. So you can go into that deeper if you want to on your own time. All right. Now let's go to investors relations, investor overview. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, they would take us to another website. So let me bring this over so you can see it. Here we go. Bam. Blow that up. Put this back and zoom in. Yeah. So investors, they trade on the NASDAQ. There's the ticker. There's the closing price, percentage change. Data as of June 5th at 4 p.m. Corporate overview. Here are some more stats, latest news, upcoming events, investor presentation. That's nice. Is that a download or a video? I don't know. All right, we're at the bottom of the page. Go back to the top. Let me see if we can click on any of this to get a, there it is. Stock information. So stock quote and chart, historical price lookup. These are some of the tools. And it looks like they pay a dividend and they talk about a stock split. So let's go to stock quote and chart. Here's the stock quote. And the chart is probably going to take a little time to load. So if this is your first time watching the live streams that we do, I think that some of these companies' website outsource that data when it comes to the charts they provide on their website. And I've noticed that it's taking a while to like load up. It's slow sometimes. So what I'll do, I'll talk to keep you guys entertained. Try to prevent you from being bored while this loads up. And as you can see, there we go. So we're at the bottom of the page and we're done. We're done. We can go over here so I can give you the information about what I found in my research. So Cooper Companies Incorporated, ticker COO. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage specialty medical devices and healthcare products across the vision care and women's health markets, offering solutions such as high quality contact lenses like daily disposable and multifocal options that correct visual impairments and support advanced vision management systems, specialized medical devices including surgical instruments, diagnostics, and fertility solutions that manage clinician workflows for hospital operating rooms, and comprehensive fertility technologies tailored for genetic testing, embryo monitoring, and customized reproductive treatment setups. Looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include CVS Health Corporation, ticker CVS, Walgreens Boots Alliance Incorporated, ticker WBA, and Signia Group, ticker CI. I got it. All right. Now we can go ahead and go to the charts. Let's go to the chart. So here we go. Go here. Bam, bam. We already had it ticker up. All right. So we're going to the charts. And since I said we never looked at this company before, this is all going to be new. This is nuts. Look at this. So they had a 52-week high of $89.83, 52-week low of $58.89. Let's zoom out, go to the 10-year weekly chart, and we can see that they had an uptrend over here. The 10-year low is $39.68. 10-year high, $115.90. So it looks like for a few years, it was just trending up. So this is 2016 to 17, 18, 19, 20. And then in 21, that's when it peaked at that 10-year high. Bam, price level there. Now, over here, I'm seeing this as consolidation. Even though that seems like a wide range, it was bouncing top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. So that's consolidation to me. And then it's either going to break out to the upside or the downside. And it went down. Now, when it broke to the downside, we can put me back on the screen. When it broke to the downside, it struggled a little to get through that 200-week simple moving average, which is this dashed white line. Then when it came down here, it found support, and it looked like it responded to this zone a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this as a zone. Okay. So that zone is going to be this candle. Now this zone is going to be kind of wide. I'm warning you that now. I'm all the way into the corner. So this, I want to say that and this. Now I'm going to extend this over to the left. So we're going to go back to 2017, January 1st. January 1st, bam. Now we're going to go here, and then we're going to go to December 1st, 2026. Okay, bam. So as you can see, that's my support zone. And I'm saying support because back here it was resistance. But now it held that support here, the bottom of that zone, the bottom of that zone here held that support here. I already have an arrow there. Let me delete that. So this right here, these two candles, I'm going to draw a box. You can see that that held that support. And even this week would be this big green candle right here. It was able to rebound off the bottom of that zone, that support, and close back above the 9-week simple moving average. But it's holding below that 200-week simple moving average, which is that dashed white line. So if I'm going to draw some type of, let's remove all of those drawings. Let's use this price level tool. So we can see that price level was respected as support here, support and resistance here, resistance here. The wick was able, on this week, was able to get through it, this week right here that I'm looking at. But that price level definitely held as support recently. A few weeks, it was not able to get above that 84.79. And after that, boy, it sold off. After that consolidation that I'm seeing right here. That's what I'm seeing with that. So let's go ahead and draw the rest of our technicals on the daily chart, the 1 year daily chart. So let's go over there. And we can see again, right here, consolidation. Broke to the downside, found this level of support near that 52-week low, but we used that zone from the 10-year weekly chart to get that. Look at this. Look at how perfect this candle jumped right above that level that we drew using the 10-year weekly. Look at that. That's crazy. Okay. So as far as, look, here we go. Something else. If we put a price level at the top of today's high, we're going to look to the left. You can see that it was respected here as resistance. Here, it held as support. So remember, support turns into resistance. Resistance turns into support. That's the idea in technical analysis. So we can do this as like a zone, because I'm seeing these candles didn't quite come down perfectly to that zone, to that price level. So here's how I'm going to do that. Let's go over here. Use the rectangle tool, use this high. I'm going to put it on this candle's low. Yep. Edit properties, extend that over to the right. December 1st, bam. Extend it over to the beginning of the year, January 1st. So I click this, bam, bam, bam. Got it, January 1st. Okay, here we go. Something didn't do something right. January 1st, 2026. That's because that's supposed to be 2025. That's why. But we're in June, so as long as I do June 1st, we'll be fine. There we go. All right. And I am off the screen. So that zone was respected as support. Here, here, gapped below it, and even came all the way down here. Then it was bouncing between those two zones. Came back here, held that support. So that's where I'm getting that from. I just want you to see where that price level came from. And we talked about this as consolidation. So we can see that it gapped up here between these two as far as resistance. If I had to draw one more line to see it as resistance, I'm going to say this area here, price level, seeing that price as potential resistance. And this 200-day simple moving average, this dashed white line. Okay. So those are my technicals, but we need to put the gap here. So let's zoom in. Let's put me back on the screen too. Hold on. Here we go. Put me back on the screen. Zoom in here and let's get the gap. Let's see if this is going to work. So the gap from this high to that low, we can't see it. Edit, rectangle. I think this is going to be rectangle 3. 764. Yep. Turn it yellow. Click OK. We can't see it. Oh, we can't see it. I'm going to have to remove this one. I don't want to go through all that. I do not want to go through all that. But it's a gap here, guys. It's a gap. And we can't put those two drawings on top of one another. So we're not going to be able to see it. This gap from Thursday, you see when I mouse over it, is there. How can I do this? I don't want to go through that right now. We at the end of the show. I don't want to go through that. I know it's a way for us to be able to do it. I believe it's right here. Like we save it as a drawing set. So this is the default. And then we can put save as new drawing set, right? And then I'm gonna name this gap. So gap, June, today's date 6. All right. Now when I click save, you see that? I don't know how that did that, but I'm explaining to you how we do this in a second. So rectangle 3, we want to extend this over to December 1st. I didn't know you could do that. But my point of doing this way, let me explain what I was going to do. So if I remove this drawing, I wanted to be able to put it back. So now when I go here and I click default, when I go to default, it's going to put it back. And that other zone is still small. It's not like the yellow one. Now, if I go back to that down in the bottom right-hand corner, you can't even see it. Oh my gosh. Let me take this off so you can see it. There's a little switch down here at the bottom. You see where it says default? If I click that, I can save new drawing sets. So now when I go there, the gap will be there now. And if I go to default, it'll go back to the other one. That's what I did. So you couldn't see it because the disclaimer was there. Now I want to fix this. Put it back on the Thinkorswim because this one is not extended over rectangle 3. It is yellow, but it's not extended over to December 1st. I want to fix this. Bam. Okay. Now it's there, but you can't see it. But at least it's there. All right, let's get the stock quote for COO. Go to settings. I don't know why I'm saying COO. Ticker COO, the Cooper Corporation. Cooper Companies Incorporated. Let's get the stock quote for that company. Now, Cooper Companies Incorporated opened today at $65.24. They had a high of $67.61. They had a low of $65, and they closed today at $67.34, which was a trading range of $2.61. The trading volume was 9 million shares of this stock today. Let me take off this floating data box. And I can just eyeball this and see that they gapped up. Now, they are responding to earnings, but I need to know if these earnings were announced after market yesterday. Yes. So they were announced at 4 p.m. Central Time. So that would have been 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So they were announced after market hours. So today on Friday gave the market opportunity to respond during a regular daily trading session to those earnings that were announced yesterday after the market closed. That's what we're looking at with that. So it gapped up. Now let's go to our volume labels. Take me off the screen. So the average trading volume for Cooper Companies is 2.5 million shares in a daily trading session. The previous volume, which they had on Thursday, was 4 million. So it was above average the day before the day the earnings were announced. But remember, they were announced after the market closed. So today, in response to those earnings, they did about almost 5 times what I would say 4 times compared to what they do on average. 4 times the average. They did 4 times the average today with their trading volume. It's getting late, guys. I guess you can tell in my voice I'm kind of all over the place, but we about to get through it and wrap it up. Put me back on the screen. The volume rank percentile out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 2 of those days had higher volume than today. Volume rank percentile, we can see that that's 99.2%, which means out of the recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 99.2% of those daily trading sessions. Bam, we're done. We got through it, guys. We got through it. So let's go ahead and go here and let's wrap up the show. You already know. I hope that you learned something and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, June 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm reviewing comments and responding to chats, as well as performing a live Q&A so we can focus on building our community and answering you guys' questions. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.